VibesWitIvyy. What's really going on with Joseline's Cabaret, man? There's a lot of hot tea when it comes to the reunion, and I must say, how does it feel when you're promised a grand prize and the check isn't clear? I don't know. Let's go. All right, Alien Gang, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? We must talk about Joseline's Cabaret. I must know, do y'all even watch this show? And honestly, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I do, because I don't know, Joseline's Cabaret just has a whole nother level of disrespect versus these other ratchet shows I watch in entertainment purposes. But I don't know, there's just a certain level of disrespect on Joseline's Cabaret that makes you feel so uncomfortable for these ladies. I don't think it will ever be something that's normalized, in my opinion. I always seem to get uncomfortable as if I'm like one of the cast members and I'm just a viewer. I mean, I don't know. Is it just me? But I don't know. So low key, I do be feeling ashamed that I even watched this show, but I do, y'all. I do. And I am tuning into the reunion. So who else is tuning in? Either way, we must get into this alleged tea that is going down at the reunion. So yeah, this is what is being said. It says Joseline brings a weapon on stage for the girls. Now that's just a mess, because there should be no reason in the world that anyone should be able to come on stage with a weapon. Same thing with Tommy on Baddies. There's no reason in the world that a cast member or host, I don't care who it is, should be on the premises with a weapon. Joseline and Lemmy have a verbal back and forth. Now that's surprising because every else, well, I don't know. I just kind of feel like with Joseline and Lemmy, they kind of play it like everything is cool with them. Anytime I see them, it's kind of peaches and cream. That's how they portray it anyways. So them going back and forth was a little bit of a surprise. Now we already know his history. So, yeah. Then it also says Joseline announces taking a break from the cabaret. Now that wasn't shocking, not to me, because I kind of feel like she just kept mentioning the fact that she, wants another child and who's going to take over for her when it comes to the whole cabaret thing. So I kind of seen that coming, and, I was just like, hey, if that's what she's ready to do when it comes to her life, she should be able to do that. So, I mean, I don't know if y'all know, but she definitely is pregnant right now. So she was serious. She wanted to add to her family, and that's what she's doing. So in the comments, we have, that's crazy. Natalie presence is dwindling. My bad. From Baddies, and Joseline is taking a break. Love Cabin isn't gonna hold viewership, and certainly not the Sneakers movie. Lemmy portrays himself as a boss, but this is just the beginning of conflict throughout the network. That's why he needs to set a clear line between a work-business relationship and personal relationships. Trying to be cool and effing on all these women makes everyone feel like they have a say-so in how they run their Natalie and Joseline both act like that. But now they're both being demoted. You know what? You got a point. Because, Natalie, even though she feels like her spot is secured, the way Lemmy even brought up the whole situation with finding someone, I guess, that can partner with Natalie with the show, I don't know. It kind of came off to me like he was trying to replace Natalie. Like he's trying to find someone else that can, play her position. And I was just like, oh, wow. So no one's safe. No one is safe at all. When it comes to their whole position on the network, I feel like no one is safe. Lemmy will give you something and he will be real quick to take it back. That's how it comes off. I don't know. Let me know what y'all feel down in the comments. I'm just like, wow. That is something. So we have a few different clippets, right? We have Ocean. She's showing off her battle wounds and whatnot. So, letting us know. Everybody's updating us with what is going on. At the reunion, we have Lexi Gold with a story post saying she got jumped. Reunion over, got jumped, and still look good. They can't take me. Now, I will say Lexi Gold was definitely one of those targets when it came to the show. And she stood on her own 2 toes. You know what I'm saying? Her own 10 toes, I will say. She definitely did when it came down to, whole bullying situation that I feel like be going on Joseline's show. But She held her own. She held her own. Now, the weird part about this whole Lexi Gold thing is that Joseline felt like she couldn't trust her. She felt like she couldn't trust her, that she had a manager, she had a pimp, she had this, she had that. And that's why she wasn't going to really have her take over. And that's why she didn't invite her to that whole studio thing. And that's why she didn't give her the check. I feel like she really tried to make it seem like she couldn't trust Lexi Gold because she has some like underhanded intentions. And it really slapped her in the face because the person that she actually chose ended up being the one playing games. And I had a feeling there was something sneaky, something very sneaky about the winner. I don't know if it was just me, but something was very sneaky about her. Even when Joseline came up to all the girls and asked them, like, do y'all have managers? Like, the fact that she was so eerily quiet was strange. I don't know if anyone else peeped that, but it was very like, So yeah, she didn't trust Lexi Gold, and you see how that turned out. So she got jumped. So I'm sure it was by every other girl that was on the cast, but maybe Kanaya, because I guess her and Kanaya are cool. Who knows if they're cool still? But in the comments we have, who would have jumped her? Right. I just asked the same thing. Someone else said, so Kiana didn't help? Kanaya. I think that's her name, right? Is it Kanaya? But yeah, girl, I know who you're trying to say. So yeah. I'm like, I don't know, but I feel like most likely she got jumped by, the same old girls who had a problem with her on the show. Someone else said, Lexi said, you ain't jump in. Someone else said, I hope she doesn't return for another season. She's been too good for this. I do agree. I feel like a lot of the girls are too good for this, and yet they're on this show. I don't know how they do it. Someone else says, so bored with this season. So yeah, some people didn't really care for the season at all. Did y'all even watch it? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who really tuned into it, but it did give a different feel. I just feel like the girls are getting fed up, and eventually someone gonna hop on Joseline. And maybe that's why she's trying to hop off this whole network and take a break, because maybe she can feel it too. She can feel it. Like, girl, I'm letting you know, like, these girls are gonna end up jumping on you. Like, you talking to some grown women. So yeah. Can't wait to see what happened with Sky and Joseline, and Kanaya is Joseline's new pet. Like how Henny was, then Neek, and now it's her. She'll turn on her too. Something. You know how Joseline is. Look. But dang, Lexi and Kanaya have definitely unfollowed each other. So like I said, things happen and people fall out. I don't know what happened between the two, but look, when you go on these whole shows trying to like make friends anyways, most of the time, I mean, you'll be lucky if you really like have someone solid and actually, have a long standing friendship with them, because a lot of this stuff is based on drama. And that means a lot of the friendship you make is going to be a little bit of a superficial level. It's going to be on a superficial level. It's not going to be like as authentic as if you met someone one-on-one, at a friend's house or something like that. Something more personal. When you're meeting someone on a network, on a show, sometimes things just are more, more superficial. So this is the girl that I'm talking about. Yo, don't she look like that little... Damn, what was it? It was, I don't even know. Was it like a baby crocodile? It was on A Land Before Time. A Land Before Time with Littlefoot. And there was what the hell? Yo, I'm telling you, she looks just like that character. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying. She does. She really does. But she said face untouched. Bahaha. So yeah. Whoever she fought, they didn't do anything. But this is the one that I'm talking about. She's the one who ended up really playing Joseline. And I just had a little feeling. Something was sneaky with her. And it ended up being true. So we have some comments right here about the whole matter. Joseline confirmed she didn't give Sky money, owns her through music, and made a comment about Lexi Gold in her recent comments. So Shorty did not get paid the check did not get cleared. And do y'all kind of feel like, that's on her because she tried to be sneaky? Or do you feel like Joseline's trying to, play on some, I'm going to do what I want and I'm going to give you what I want when I want? Is it a power play for Joseline, or is it kind of just like, this is what you get? Let me know down in the comments. But either way, yeah, it's a shame. So, a woman speaks out and claims Sky tried playing her and Joseline out of contract she signed, which caused Joseline to call her out. So, yeah, she got exposed. I only spoke on it because my name was mentioned and threats got sent. Other than that, I was completely prepared to mind my business and go to court, like she said we would. And I'm still ready. Joseline way more ruthless. She need a lawyer, a good one. If y'all love her, then help her because I tried to. Put some money up. Damn. Joseline says, LOL, and I didn't give that bump $1. New winner! Todd must set her up, and I own her through my TV show. And I own her through music. So the bum is a bum. She played herself. Well, there you have it. She played herself. Honestly, she did play herself. She did. She should have just kept it real. Look, you can't be out here trying to play games with people because at the end of the day, everything in the dark comes to the light. Y'all should know that. Everything. So the fact is, you didn't keep it 100. You lied to that woman's face, said you had no manager, said you had no connections with nobody else, and you both face told a lie. You both face told a lie. So at the end of the day, you get whatever you get. Honestly, that's how I kind of feel. You get whatever you get because you just straight up lied. And there was no reason for it, really. There was no reason for it, really. Because like I said, you can try to call yourself trying to hide something from somebody, and there you go. Somebody will come out and expose your whole life. Damn near. So, come on now. In the comments we have, so the whole show is scam? No money? Child, look. Exactly. That is crazy that Joseline can actually withhold her money because that is a part of the show. So if it's a part of the show and this is supposed to be the grand prize of the show, how can you withhold the grand prize if she was the winner? That is kind of cold. That's kind of cold, but at the same time, she kind of did it to herself. That's cold, though. I will say that shouldn't even be something that she should be able to do, But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that goes on Zeus behind the scenes. People can actually make it seem like you're going to win a prize and get mad and withhold it. So, Someone else said, man, say what y'all want about Natalie Nunn. She can be a lot of things, but she ain't never came out of her mouth to say no ugly shit about any of the baddies like Joseline does about the Cabaret girls. Nah, she not as ruthless as Joseline. Nah, she's not. I mean, I will say that Joseline and Natalie, if they have anything in common, they love to have minions. That's one thing I will say. Joseline and Natalie love to have their minions. They have that in common. But other than that, Natalie hasn't ever been as disrespectful as Joseline. And that's why it's a little more, something I can tolerate when I can watch baddies and not have to see that sort of level of disrespect as I see on Joseline's Cabaret, if that makes sense. That's what I be meaning. Someone else says, shouldn't have signed that contract so fast. What was you thinking? And that as well. I feel like that's why Kanaya was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Because to me, it was given I need y'all to sign this right now. And even though it was oh, well, yeah, you can't have time to look over it, it was still giving the energy of, you need to sign this now. Because you see, the person who signed it then, at that moment, won the prize. And she even mentioned it on the stage. So she felt the way that the other girls didn't just sign it. But they're not dumb. And I'm not trying to say Shorty over here is, but she might have been a little more gullible. Just saying. Because who knows what was in that contract? Like Natalie says, she owns her. She owns her. So that contract has some up in there. It did, and she should have read it. So, Sky. T Love and Erica respond to the woman's post calling out Sky for trying to play her and Joseline. So yeah, everybody got something to say, yo. It's just something else. Everybody got something to say, yo. So yeah, it says, Vice, we got to keep this. When I went on a show, me and you wasn't under and I paid $2K like that paper said. What the your label not even a real label. You don't even have no LLC or nothing. You literally came up with the name when we was OTP. And when I told you if she asked me to sign, you said if she wants you to sign. Fuck our contract. You mad because I didn't invite you to a club. Fuck out of here. And this is exactly why I'm coming to your job as soon as I land. And that was Sky. So yeah, that was Sky, the one I said that looks like that creature on the land before time, with all respect. But yeah, that was her popping her and look, shorty, you got caught out there. You got caught. You got caught. You can't be mad. You got to be smarter. You just got to be smarter. So in the comments we have, I'm just like, she should have did what Kanaya and Erica did and never signed. Sky seems very young and not really mindful of what she be doing. I gotta agree. I just said that. Like, she's a little more on the gullible side. And I'm not trying to say that to be mean. I'm just saying that in a way of she's young. And, you know, when you're young, sometimes we don't really think things all the way through. Someone else said, I don't know, the text messages don't look like what Sky's saying. So you think they're fake? Someone else said, yo, Sky literally was one of the biggest disappointments of this season. Sadly, the way she's going out makes her a disappointment. I don't know what makes her a disappointment for you, but yeah. Someone else says, so if they're on Sky's side with Vice, whose side are they on about Joseline not giving Sky the money? Look, they don't want to speak on anything that Joseline's doing because then Joseline's going to be on their back and they don't want that. You know, it's just like they can't call her out when she's wrong. And Joseline don't want nobody around her that's going to call her out when she's wrong. She don't want women like that around her. She like the gullible. The ones that's just going to follow her lead and not question anything. That's what she likes. But either way, Sky said something to Joseline, and we must see what she said. So, this is the only response I'm going to make to this clown. People say anything when they mad. How far up did you have to dig to pull that bullshit out? And by the way, I've been having money since a jit. Been doing as I want, when the fuck ever I want. Watch who the fuck you talking to for real. Them little ass checks from the show, I blew that and can't even tell you on what. Oh, and my chain costs more than what y'all paid for the season. Quit talking to me. I'm a real hustler, baby. This is light. Well, look, man, she popping it. She really is. Is she gonna be at the reunion? Do you think, as much as she popping it, that she gonna actually show up? I don't know. If she do, I'll give her kudos. But Joseline, this is what she said, basically, to start it all off. She said, that bum, dumb, crumb holder, ugly, big face, big mouth, broke country hoe, not getting shit from me. Not even one red cent. You thought you could play the player? You're going right back to whatever. To eat booty out the trunk for $20. How so? And she kept going. It says show more. So she basically went in. You know how Joseline do. She go in. She basically went in and tore her down to filth. I don't even see the rest. I already know what she said. Son foul, son crazy. Son disrespectful. We already know. How Joseline is. So basically, do you kind of feel like, hey, Joseline, that's kind of what you get? Because the way you did Lexi Gold, the way you kind of played Lexi Gold, look how you got played. I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like as much as I want to be like, yeah, you know, Shorty should have been honest and bop, bop, boop. I feel like, well, Joseline, you should have picked the right person. You basically picked her to be spiteful. You picked her because she was gullible enough to sign the contract. It wasn't really on like, oh, I picked you because I really feel like you deserve it. Nah, you picked her because she's naive. That's why you picked her. And you see what happened? So can you truly feel bad? What do you think about it? Do you feel like she should have actually gave Lexi Gold a chance? Except for actually, you know what I'm saying, playing her to a side and getting played in the end? Do you feel like Homegirl should have been honest with Joseline? Do you feel like she was being sneaky from the beginning? Because I kind of feel like she was. Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, y'all, that's all I got. And until next time, y'all, I'm out.